Hey guys, what's up? It's Mitch with SC Weather. Hope y'all have had a great day as usual. We've had a beautiful day. I was thinking today, someone mentioned on Twitter, we've had a beautiful spring. It's been some really crazy weather the last, 10 days as I'm about to talk about round 3 of potential severe weather, severe storms. But other than that, as far as temperatures, we've had a couple chances to hit 9 degrees. At my house, in my weather station, we did not hit 9 degrees. I don't think we did it here in K either. I think Florence has. But other than that, it's been nice. I mean, your typical lows in the upper 40s, mid 40s, highs in the 70s, tolerable humidity. It's been beautiful, right? But we're here again to talk. I was just talking to you guys a couple days ago, but we're here to talk another severe weather threat. And I tell you what, this one has a lot of people stumped in the weather world, even the professionals, the experts, the guys who know it best. I don't even think they have a true handle on what's going to occur. And guys, my job or my way of talking to y'all is to try to simplify things. I try to picture myself as you guys, not knowing a whole lot about weather, and honestly, I'm sure y'all just want what's going to happen. Y'all probably want, 20 minutes of details. A lot of people don't. Some people do, and that's awesome because y'all want to learn. But so this is a situation where details are everything, and I'm not going to have all the details, and a lot of people don't. But according to the National Weather Service, they think that there is a strong chance that we could have some severe weather tomorrow. We're in the level 3 risk area, which is the enhanced, which after enhanced goes to level 4, which is high. After that, you get into to the next level. Geez, man, the next level's moderate, and then the next level's high. Sorry, guys, I had a brain fart. But so right now we're in that level 3 of the enhanced in the orange area, as you can see here. I think if I had to go into somebody else's head and the professionals at the National Weather Service, I would think that they're got a mindset of, hey, we don't know all the details, but let's just put this area in a high risk, an enhanced area of severe storms, because something dangerous may unfold, and we want people to be in alert. And if we put something on a really low risk and we forecast, that it might not be that bad severe weather-wise, and all of a sudden something unfolds, something really materializes, and it's real bad, and people, lives are lost. People start getting blamed when they shouldn't be. This is tough. Weather's tough. So let's not keep going into this. Let's just talk about what I think is going to happen and what some people think is going to happen. So, like I said, National Weather Service has the entire state in an enhanced risk. Enhanced risk is a pretty big deal, guys. So severe weather, I think, is likely tomorrow. I think when I say that, that means somebody's going to be under severe thunderstorm warning. Somebody may be under a tornado warning. So let's get into it. So what I think is going to happen, let's go to the NAM. I think probably, as early as when we're waking up in the morning, we're going to have an area of rain. It's going to be light rain, nothing severe with this at all. And it's going to move into the state and give probably all the upstate, most of the Midlands, parts of the lower Midlands, light rain. It's going to move out. Now, I don't know if I know you can see it. The reds and purples and whites and not whites, yellows and oranges out west in Mississippi and Alabama. That's what's potentially coming. So light rain still tomorrow morning. It clears out. Now, guys, there's going to be a period where it's not raining tomorrow. And don't be that person that thinks, all right, well, I guess it's not going to do nothing today. But somewhere in maybe mid-morning or so, it may not be doing a whole lot. Timing is still weird. And it sucks because we're less than 24 hours out. But everything is just, the details are just, this is a tough one, guys. So a line comes together, not comes together, but it's still together, going through Georgia on the early morning hours, and then it enters the state. How strong will it be when it enters the state? It starts to enter an area that has become stabilized because the light rain that moved through a few hours before. So it hasn't had a chance to warm up. It hasn't had a chance to really help this line of storms really intensify. So places maybe in the eastern part of the state near the coast, the sun might come out in the morning, which is not good. So when the sun comes out, it's gonna give a boost to the atmosphere and storm fuel. Let's just leave it at that, right? And it's gonna help these lines. So I think the line of storms that comes through, let's say probably around noon to maybe 2-3 o'clock in the Midlands, you know, it has a chance to pack a punch, especially some of these in-house models like from the local channels here in Columbia. I've seen some of these RPM models, just an in-house model, really just pack. I mean, it looks nasty. It looks like a nasty line of storms coming through about in the afternoon hours, around 3 or 4 o'clock here in Columbia, for example. But as we go to the next frame, you can tell that it's beginning to pull together. So as these storms get into the eastern Midlands, this line of storms, it's not going to be discrete cells or thunderstorms, but as this line kind of enters the eastern parts of the Midlands, east of Columbia, it starts to get its act together again. Why? Because parts of the eastern parts of the state, parts of the coast, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, things like that, the PD, they haven't had rain, and they've probably gotten into, maybe broken into a little bit of some sun. I don't know how intact the clouds are going to be tomorrow after that initial band goes through. I don't know if the clouds are going to break, if it's going to warm up much. It's hard to tell. But say if they do break, it's going to initiate, it's going to fire up this line again, and it's going to strengthen it again. So we have to watch that. So we get deeper into the afternoon, this line of storms is inching towards the coast around dinner time, and it starts to just really pull its act together again, because parts of the coast have had a little bit of time to get the daytime heating in the day, and it's just rolling through at a much more favorable time of the day. Remember, here in like the summer and stuff like that, when's the most active time we have summer thunderstorms? In the afternoon, in the evening, around 3 to 6 o'clock, things like that. So it's kind of the same thing, even though it's in springtime. So even though it's going to be more clouds and sun, way more clouds and sun, even in the coastal area probably, it's going to have more time for daytime heating. So the storms may really intensify, this line of storms, as it gets to the coast. So that's the initial big threat for especially the Midlands East. And that'll kind of clear the area by dinner time, clear the state by late afternoon, late evening. And then what happens here is let's jump over right here. The NAM starts to fire up, more energy, basically more storms potential from the cold front. So the cold front's working in way behind that initial band that I just talked about. And depending on where the warm front sets up, depending on how high the dew points are, depending on how much energy is, how much CAPE there is, this is where CAPE becomes a factor. CAPE is just storm fuel. This is where we have to watch where the warm front is, where the energy is. And I'll be honest, like I mentioned in other videos, I don't know all the details, and I don't know. What I do know is this last little part of this storm system can be dangerous, the most dangerous part, but it doesn't look that dangerous, say on the NAM. But these are the storms that can really pack a punch here. And they work off towards the coast and things like that. So few things. How stable will the atmosphere be after that initial band of rain moves through? How much does that stabilize things? How strong are the storms out to our west? Because that affects how strong they'll be here, kind of. We get a good gauge of how they're acting out there and how they're going to act here. What I'm saying is we get a good gauge on how bad the storms are going to be depending on how bad they are there. Sometimes when the storms are really, really bad south of us, it kind of robs energy. And that happens a lot sometimes, like in our coastal storms and say like in the winter when we get a low pressure that tracks right across that perfect track for winter weather. And sometimes they'll get really strong storms in Florida, and it steals energy from the top of that storm. So that might end up not being as much winter precipitation for the cold part of the storm, because say a squall line is moving through Florida, which is south of that low, which is where the severe weather occurs, and it's stealing energy. So, and I've seen that happen sometimes. So it kind of happens here too. So it's something we got to watch. And I know I'm not being very detailed here because I don't know all the details. This is such a weird one. And honestly, I'm not intelligent enough to really break this down and tell you exactly what's going to happen. But I can tell you one thing for sure. One thing's for sure is in the early morning hours, probably when you wake up maybe, we're going to have some light rain around. There's going to be probably a clearing, not clearing as in the skies are going to clear and the sun's going to come out, but the rain's going to stop. And then we're going to have a line of energy come through. I think the upstate, it's not going to be that strong. Might be. By the time it gets to Midlands, I think it starts to get its act together a little bit. And then when we get to eastern Midlands to the coast, I think it starts to get strong, and it has a chance to really turn to a strong line of storms. And the biggest question mark is what's going to materialize with the cold front. I don't know. I really don't. And I tell you what, if I'm being brutally honest, I don't know why we're in enhanced necessarily. I'd say I'll put it like this. I don't know why they increased the chances of severe weather. If they would have kept it from the same from the last update, that would have made a lot more sense. But they increased it. Honestly, it would have been less surprising if they would have decreased it, if you know what I'm saying. Like, if they would have decreased it, I wouldn't have been surprised at all. I'm like, yeah, well, that makes sense, because the modeling today especially with that last part of energy that could be the most severe potentially. Now, it pops off in the eastern part of the state, so y'all need to be aware of that, but really everybody needs to be aware. It's the National Weather Service. They're the experts. They get paid to do this job. So they see something that maybe we don't. And so let's watch out. A lot of uncertainty with this one. A lot of boom, a lot of bust, depending on what your form of bust or boom is. And I know the weather community is going to understand that a lot more. But so that's what we need to look out for. Be weather aware. This has the potential to be definitely probably a little bit worse than the last event this past Sunday into Monday. So I don't think it's going to be as bad as the one that killed 9 people in the state. I really hope it isn't. But that's all I got, guys. I'll keep y'all updated after this. There'll be no more videos on this event. There is severe weather that we could maybe see Saturday, but I'll talk about that when we get through this. But y'all have a blessed night. Stay weather aware. Sorry this is a lengthy video, but I appreciate y'all watching it all the way through if y'all did. Thank y'all. Have a blessed night.